Hi, I'm Opal. Just turned 30 last month and spent the last 3 years married to a man I thought was my forever. Funny how life has other plans. When Derek and I first got married, we were barely making ends meet in our tiny one-bedroom apartment. He had this big dream of starting his own marketing agency, and I believed in him completely. While he networked and built connections, I worked 2 jobs, receptionist by day, waitressing by night, just so we could keep food on the table and fund his startup. Babe, I swear this is going to pay off. 2 years tops and we'll be living the dream. I'd come home exhausted, feet swollen from standing all day, and still find time to help him prepare presentations and organize client files. That's what partners do, right? Last month, Derek's business finally started taking off after he landed a contract with Raymond Winters, one of the biggest real estate developers in the city. I was so proud. All our sacrifices were finally paying off. We should celebrate. I'll make your favorite dinner tonight. Can't do tonight, Opal. Meeting with Raymond and some investors. Don't wait up. Those late meetings became more frequent. 3, 4 times a week. He'd come home smelling of expensive perfume, claiming it was just the restaurant ambiance. I wanted to believe him, until yesterday. I was dropping off the lunch Derek had forgotten when I heard laughter from his office. Through the crack in the door, I saw her, this gorgeous blonde perched on his desk, her hand on his cheek. When are you going to tell your little wife about us, Derek? Daddy's ready to invest, but he wants to make sure there won't be any complications. Vanessa, baby, don't worry about Opal. She was just my starter wife. Got me through the rough times. She served her purpose. My stomach dropped to my feet. 3 years of my life. Starter wife? Like some kind of disposable human stepping stone? I burst through the door. Served my purpose? Is that what I am to you? The look on his face. Not guilt, not shame, just annoyance at being caught. Well, this saves me a conversation. Opal, meet Vanessa Winters, Raymond's daughter and my future. You've been sleeping with your investor's daughter? While I've been working myself to death for us? Vanessa rolled her eyes. He doesn't need your kind of support anymore, honey. When I got home that night, my clothes were in garbage bags by the door. The locks were changed. The apartment's in my name. I need you gone by morning. I'll send your stuff wherever you end up. I spent last night in my car, parked outside the diner where I work. 3 years of marriage, 3 years of sacrificing everything for his dreams. And just like that, I was nothing. 2 weeks after being kicked out, I landed a job at Brood Awakening, a coffee shop downtown. The pay was garbage, but they let me shower in the back and sometimes crash on the break room couch until I could scrape together enough for a security deposit. Every morning at 7:30, this guy in expensive suits would come in, order the same thing, Americano, extra shot, splash of cream. Mason was his name, always buried in spreadsheets or tapping furiously on his laptop. One particularly busy morning, I accidentally knocked over his coffee while wiping down his table. I am so sorry. I'll make you another one right away. He looked up, and instead of the anger I expected, he smiled. No worries. Actually, could you look at something for me first? You seem to have a good eye for detail. He turned his laptop toward me. On screen was a marketing presentation for some tech product. Something feels off about this campaign, but I can't put my finger on it. I studied it for a minute. Your target demographic is all wrong. This reads like it's for Gen Z, but the product features would appeal more to millennials with established careers. Mason's eyebrows shot up. You know marketing? I lived and breathed it for 3 years while my ex built his agency from scratch. For the next hour, we reworked his entire approach. Mason was impressed enough to become a daily fixture, bringing me marketing problems along with his coffee orders. A month later, he dropped a bombshell. I want you to come work for me at Hayes Innovations. Hayes Innovations? Wait, you're that Mason Hayes? Guilty as charged. We need someone with your instincts on our marketing team. The salary he mentioned made me choke on my own spit. That's more than triple what I make here. It's what you're worth. Think about it. 2 days later, I was touring the gleaming Hayes headquarters, trying not to gawk at everything like a country bumpkin. That's when I saw them through the glass conference room. Derek and Vanessa, sitting at the table with other executives. What are they doing here? My voice came out shakier than I wanted. Mason followed my gaze. New clients. Some upstart marketing firm partnering with Winter's development. Do you know them? The man is my ex-husband who kicked me out of our apartment for that woman. The one I told you about. Mason's face hardened. I see. Well, this is awkward. I can turn down their business if... No, I need this job more than I need to avoid them. Just then, an elegant older woman in a tailored pantsuit approached us. Her silver hair was cut in a sharp bob, and despite being in her 70s, she moved with the energy of someone decades younger. Mason, darling, who is this lovely young woman you're showing around? Mother, this is Opal, our new marketing specialist. Opal, meet Elaine Hayes, founder of Hayes Innovations and the real brains of the operation. Elaine sized me up with piercing blue eyes. Interesting. You have a spark, dear. I can always tell the fighters. Come have lunch with me tomorrow. I want to hear your story. As she walked away, Mason whispered, She doesn't invite just anyone to lunch. Consider yourself chosen. I didn't know what for, but standing there, watching Derek and Vanessa through the glass, completely unaware of my presence, I felt something I hadn't in weeks, power. Lunch with Elaine turned into dinner, which turned into weekend brunches. She reminded me of the grandmother I'd lost years ago, tough as nails but with a hidden softness. Over martinis at her penthouse, Elaine revealed the truth. The doctors give me 6 months, maybe less. Pancreatic cancer. Inoperable. I'm so sorry. Does Mason know? Of course. But what he doesn't know is that I'm looking for someone to carry on my real legacy. Not just the business, but my approach to life. She took my hand. You remind me of myself at your age. Knocked down, but too stubborn to stay there. I nearly choked on my drink. You want me to... what exactly? Let's see how you handle a test first. Those new clients, your ex and his girlfriend. Something's off about their proposal. The numbers don't add up. She was right. Working late with Mason, we discovered Derek had been inflating his company's value and client list. Even worse, he'd been stealing intellectual property from smaller agencies. This is actual fraud, Mason said, pointing to doctored financial statements. He's scamming investors left and right. A name in the partner list caught my eye. Trevor Wilson? He was Derek's college roommate. They started the agency together. Not anymore, Mason replied. According to this, he was bought out 3 months ago for almost nothing. I tracked Trevor down at his new job, bartending at a dive bar across town. Opal? Man, I tried calling you after everything went down. Derek said you'd moved away. He kicked me out and changed the locks, Trevor. What happened with you? Trevor poured us both shots. He claimed I was embezzling, threatened to go to the police unless I signed over my shares for pennies. It was all lies, but he had paperwork that made me look guilty. Would you testify to that? In a heartbeat. The annual Hayes Innovation Gala was approaching, the biggest night in the local business calendar. Derek and Vanessa would be there, courting investors. It's the perfect place to expose them, Mason said during our planning session. Mother already agreed. What Mason didn't know was that Elaine had bigger plans. The night of the gala, Elaine pulled me aside in her stunning ball gown. Whatever happens tonight, just roll with it. I spotted Derek across the room, his arm around Vanessa's waist, charming a group of potential investors. When he saw me in my designer dress, a gift from Elaine, his jaw actually dropped. Later, as I headed to the bathroom, he cornered me in the hallway. Opal, what are you doing here? You're working for Hayes now? Karma's funny that way. His tone softened to the one he used when trying to get his way. Look, I handled things badly. I was stressed about the business. Vanessa was a mistake. Really? Because you look pretty cozy. Her father's money is keeping us afloat. But I miss you. We could work something out. Like what? I become your side piece while she bankrolls your lifestyle? Before he could answer, Elaine tapped her glass for attention. Everyone gathered around as she took the stage. For 40 years, I've led Hayes Innovations. Now it's time to announce my successor. She paused dramatically. Not just a CEO, but my heir in every sense. Someone with the vision and backbone this company needs. Opal Morrison. The room erupted in whispers. Derek's face went from confusion to calculation faster than I could blink. "We should definitely reconnect," he whispered. "For old time's sake." I smiled sweetly. "The time for that has passed. By the way, the FBI agents by the door? They're here for you." The color drained from Derek's face as he spotted the agents approaching. In that moment, Mason stepped up to the microphone. "Before we continue celebrating, we have a presentation." The screens around the ballroom lit up with Derek's doctored financial statements alongside the real numbers. Hayes Innovations prides itself on due diligence. When vetting new partnerships, we discovered some discrepancies. Gasps filled the room as Mason methodically exposed every fraudulent claim and stolen idea. Trevor stood up from the crowd. "As former co-founder of Morrison Marketing, I can confirm these accusations. I have signed affidavits from 3 clients whose campaigns were stolen." Vanessa stepped away from Derek like he had suddenly burst into flames. "You told me those were your original concepts. My father invested $500,000. "Baby, I can explain." "Don't baby me! Daddy was right about you all along." The FBI agents reached us. "Derek Morrison, we need you to come with us, sir." As they escorted him out, Vanessa threw her engagement ring at his feet. "We're done. My lawyers will be in touch." Raymond Winters approached me afterward, his face grim. "I apologize for my daughter's role in your situation. Had I known the full story?" "You were manipulated too, Raymond. He's good at that." 3 months later, Elaine signed the papers officially naming me her heir majority shareholder of Hayes Innovations and beneficiary of her personal fortune. We sat in her garden, celebrating with champagne despite her doctor's protests. "To new beginnings," she said, raising her glass weakly. "I still don't understand why me." "Because you've been beaten down but never broken. Money means nothing without the spine to use it properly." She squeezed my hand. "Promise me you'll help others who've been stepped on by people like your ex." "I promise." Elaine passed away peacefully 2 weeks later, with Mason and me at her bedside. At the reading of her will, the board members were shocked to learn I now controlled 51% of the company, with Mason as CEO and me as chairwoman. My first executive action was creating the Hayes Second Chance Fund for small business owners who'd been victims of fraud or corporate theft. Trevor became its first beneficiary, receiving capital to restart his design career. 6 months after the gala, Derek was sentenced to 7 years for fraud, tax evasion, and intellectual property theft. The day before he reported to prison, he showed up at my office unannounced. 5 minutes, Opal. That's all I ask." I reluctantly let him in. He looked terrible, designer clothes replaced with off-the-rack, the cockiness gone from his stance. "I'm sorry. Truly sorry. I threw away the best thing in my life because I was greedy and stupid." "Is that supposed to move me?" "I just want you to know I regret what I did every day. Maybe when I get out..." "Let me stop you right there. This isn't a movie where the villain has a redemption arc. You're not getting a second chance with me. You're helping everyone else start over. Why not me? The fund helps people who were wronged. You did the wronging. There's a difference. Goodbye, Derek." As security escorted him out, I felt nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, not even pity. Just freedom. That evening, Mason and I toasted on the rooftop of what was now our building. "To Elaine," he said, "and to never being anyone's stepping stone ever again." What do you think? Was Opal right to completely reject Derek's apology while creating a fund to give second chances to others? Or should she have shown him the same mercy she's offering strangers? Would you have done the same in her position? Or would you have handled it differently? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this revenge story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more dramatic stories just like this one. Your support helps our channel grow, and we'd love to hear what kind of stories you want to see next.